In this video, we are going to customize this Game Boy Advance. Alright, so Game Boy modification is one of the coolest scenes in the retro community in my mind. Like, there's so many cool mods, so many cool shells, like so many great customization options for the Game Boy Advance systems, and this just happens to be one of my favorite handheld systems as well, so I'm really looking forward to finally diving into further customization options for the GBA. In the past, I've added an IPS screen to one of my other Game Boy Advance systems, so today we are going to be doing a new replacement shell, new lens, new screen, rechargeable battery. So this is going to be just a really fun project, and we have some special shells courtesy of eXtremeRate here sent to us for this specific project. So let's check it out. Alright, so again, we have a Game Boy Advance that we are intending to customize here. The pink color scheme is actually very nostalgic for me. My first Game Boy Advance was very pink. So I'm just love this system. But then we have a no solder drop-in IPS replacement screen, USB-C rechargeable battery, tempered glass replacement lens, and then of course the replacement shell that was given to us courtesy of eXtremeRate here. So the IPS screen, the lens, and the battery were all from Retro Game Repair Shop. If you want to pick up your own, links will be in the description below. But I asked eXtremeRate to send me out one of their watermelon cherry type shells here, just so we can kind of keep it as the same pink color scheme, just for that nostalgia's sake. But I wanted to check out these shells because I've been curious about the quality of them for a while now, and now I can finally get my hands on them. And I mean, right off the bat, you know it's not the same as an original shell, but like, that does not feel half bad in the hand. I cannot wait to get it all hooked up to the Game Boy. But 2 parts here. And this one is IPS ready, so if you wanted to do a no-cut mod, this is a great screen to do it with, or a great shell to do it with, rather. But yeah, that feels nice and sturdy in the hands. I can't wait. And one of the nice things about their kits is they send you all the tools you need to get into the Game Boy system if you don't have tools already available for you. But then it also comes with replacement power switch, buttons, and side panels here. I might keep these original side panels and buttons from this Game Boy into there because I think the contrasting colors looks a little bit nicer than it all blending together personally. But we'll see how it looks both ways. And then we also have some brackets and stuff in here. So one of which being a battery panel here, which is good because we need to remove that to get the battery mod installed in the first place. Also got new button silicone pads here, so if your Game Boy happens to be missing those or they're damaged, hey, these kits come with it. That's pretty cool. As well as complete set of replacement screws. And finally we have another glass lens here, which actually looks pretty cool with the white offsetting the pink. So the IPS mod came with its own lens, so it's not like this was something extra, but now I have to decide if I want to do white or black. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted to lean towards white. But then there's also some additional stickers in here that you can place on the back of the shell to make it seem like a more authentic Game Boy Advance, which is pretty cool. And then so cool. Alright, anyway, thanks again to eXtremeRate for sending this out. Really looking forward to installing this one, and then you can see that it comes with a 1-year warranty card as well. Gonna get this project started by disassembling the Game Boy Advance. So just bear with me while I get this all situated. So there we go, backplate off of the original shell here, and we have access to the GBA mainboard. So just gonna pull these buttons off. Side tabs. And then we have a couple screws here holding the motherboard in place, so just gonna pull those out real quick. And there we go. So since I'm going to be replacing the IPS, or the screen with an IPS screen, I'm just going to unplug the ribbon cable for the screen here. There we are. And I can actually leave the rest of this part of the screen intact, like I don't need to mess with any of this. So gonna pull these out just in case I want to use the original pads and parts just for an more authentic feel. But there we go. Now I could just kind of put the original shell off to the side somewhere. And I could begin messing with the replacement shell. So I went ahead and got the IPS screen tested just to make sure that it is going to work as intended. So now let's just go ahead and start assembling the shell. So first thing we're going to do is take this piece of this and place it on the side of the screen here. And then we're going to take the adhesive here. Alright, so at this point I get to decide if I want to use the new buttons for this shell, which I don't think I do. I think I want to stick with the offsetting colors of the original. So I'm just going to go ahead and get those inserted back into the shell now. So I'm about to put the main board back in place. So there we go. Much nicer contrasting colors here. I like that. Or I can lose my A button down my crotch. That works too, I guess. And I'll just reuse the original screws since I happen to have them still. And there we go. So, absolutely beautiful feeling. Alright, I forgot to put the light pipe in, so I just unhooked everything and put it in real quick, so that way we have a proper power meter here. But now we just need to fold this over. Move this wire out of my way here. Actually, let's make sure that this gate was open. There we go. Now I just need to flip this over, push it in, and lock the screen in place. There we go. So now the LCD, the IPS screen is hooked up, ready to go. Just need to take this wire, wrap it around here, and then we need to connect it to the positive terminal on the battery port here. So they give us a lot of extra slack here. So this is a no solder kit, so that's one of the reasons why it's just a wrap around the battery loop here. But there we go. Now it should work once I get the battery plugged in. So just as a quick test here, make sure this is on, and we'll just kind of manually put that in place, and there it is. Now we just need to finish assembly, and we will be all set with this newly modded GBA. So for the rest of assembly, again, I'm going to keep with the original parts here. Alright, so that. Side panels. Right trigger here. Left shoulder button. I guess that's the more accurate term. And then the back plate itself. And there we go. That comes together really nicely, and it just looks really good with those contrasting colors. Like, I'm really happy with the way this is looking. Like, custom, yet still pretty official looking, all thrown into one. I like it. Alright, so got that shell reassembled. I accidentally forgot to put this blue plate back into the back here, so undid it and redid that. So the last step for completion is just to mount the glass lens here. So I'm going to go with the white, just because I think that contrast of colors is going to look fantastic. And it says Game Boy Advance on it for authenticity, so I like it. And one of these days, I will figure out how to open it. There we go. So, there we are. Get the adhesive off. There it is. It's a little foggy, so I'm just gonna clean this a bit. Alright, so I was gonna go with the white, but like this has a bunch of like filminess to it, and I can't seem to get it to clean off. So that's just not gonna work. Like that doesn't come off on either side. Like it's not great. Like it's pretty bad. Oh well. That would have been cool, but no big loss. I do have the glass black one that came with the kit, so. And this one should not be foggy. Hopefully. If this one's foggy too, man, I'm in trouble. Yeah, there we go. No fog to be had here whatsoever. Perfectly clear. Alright, so I'm just going to attach that to the front of the screen there. Get my fingerprints all up on it. And then I can just wipe it down. And there we go. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Big fan of how that turned out. Like, look at that. That is a thing of beauty. So, there is one more stage to this modding process that I was going to do, and that is to install the USB-C battery. So to do that, all I need to do is remove this little piece of the case here. So bear with me for one moment. Alright, so there we go. Got that clipped and trimmed. So now we can just slide the battery right on in and into position. And now we have no picture. Awesome. There we go. So now we could just place it right there. And there is our newly modded Game Boy Advance. And then, of course, can put the battery cover back on. For people that are interested in it, you can trim the battery back to access the charging port for the battery. It's not something I'm personally interested in, so I just take off the battery when I need to, or take off the battery door when I need to charge it. And there we go. Absolutely beautiful. Again, all just works as intended, lined up with the screen. See if the touch sensor works. It certainly does. So we have brightness that I can adjust just by touching the shell right here. Number level of brightnesses. And you can also turn on a pixel mode, black and white mode. Just by holding the touch sensor. Like, this is pretty cool stuff. But there we go. Now just a quick little demonstration of the Game Boy in action now. Like, this is fantastic. Like, I didn't get my last IPSmod lined up quite right, so some of the side of the screen was cut off. So it kind of always bugged me. I just never bothered fixing it though. But this one just lined up so beautifully. No cuts involved in getting this screen in, whether you're using a replacement shell or original shell. And the screen just looked absolutely fantastic. Like, you lose out on the original LCD's motion blur, but I honestly am not missing it a whole lot. Just things look a lot smoother in motion. So, very cool mod. And then you could also adjust, if you want to have like a pixel grid display, like this. Kind of hard to see on the camera, but now there's the original GBA grid line effect in play. It does make the screen darker, unfortunately, but I mean, it's still a cool authenticity touch that I really enjoy having. Alright, for just a little extra touch of authenticity, I'm just going to install the label. Not the most necessary of steps, but I mean, it's pretty cool for authenticity just to have a little back label there. There we go. But there we go, all complete, and looking awesome. And there we have it, a near fully customized Game Boy Advance system. There's still a couple mods I'd like to do to this one, like a replacement speaker, an audio amp, dehummer type deal, but that requires soldering, and my soldering skills are a little so that is one of the things that I loved most about this type of mod. It's drop-in replacement screen. Any skill level can do this one, really. As long as you can disassemble a shell, you're pretty golden on doing this type of mod. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with this eXtremeRate case. I didn't really know how it would turn out, but having played with this the last couple of days since filming the assembly, like, this thing is awesome. Like, especially when you put the original buttons back in, like, I cannot tell the difference between this shell and the original pink one that was already on it, but it just looks a lot nicer. Definitely plays a lot nicer with a lit screen, especially at night. So, gotta say, I'm really happy with the eXtremeRate shell here, and I can't wait to do more projects using their stuff. We have actually quite a few on the way. But for anyone interested in modding their own GBAs, do know that this is a pretty simple project and definitely worth diving into. So, again, I will have links to all of the various parts I used for this specific GBA you see here in the description below, so you can check it out for yourselves. But thank you all so much for making it to the end of today's video. A bit of a longer one since we just customized the whole GBA, but hey, totally worth it. So, I do have a couple huge favors to ask you here at the end. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, thumbs down button, depending on how much you like today's video, and hit that sub button notification bell so you can see when new videos go live on the channel. I have loads of content coming your way, and I'd love to have each and every one of you along for the ride. For anyone who might be interested in further helping support the channel so we can bring you more videos just like this, you can check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link that'll appear over here on the bottom right hand side of the screen. Little goes a long way to keeping this place up and running and bringing this content to you. Big shout out to all of our current champions. Thank you so much for believing in what we do and helping us keep it going. This project was like, some of it was sponsored, some of it was funded by you guys. Thank you so much. But until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome. We'll see you back next video.